welcome back to another Slay the Spire stream. I'm your host, Vegetable Red, and today we're going to be starting off with an Ironclad. We won our previous Watcher runs. This is technically a win streak. One. Let's see if we can turn it into a win streak of 2. Boss relic swaps are bad on Ironclad, so we don't want to do that. We don't want to remove strikes in either 1 or 2 quantities. Hey, Redbeardy, how's it going? But we do probably want 100 golds. It seems like it's the only option that's actually any good. There is a couple early shops, so we could go to one of those. If we go to this one, we can do 3 fights. Seems like probably what we're going to do. In general, you want a question mark before a shop, because the question mark can be the Serpent event, and then you get to, or the Shrine of Gold, technically. And then you get the curse, remove the curse, end up gold positive. Nice. How was your weekend? Did you have a good 4th? Yeah, that's true for sure. Do you stream on the weekends as well? I do not. The problem with this path is that it only gets 1 elite, or 2 if we go that way. So that's not a ton. Be nice to get more. Looks like we have a 3 elite path for this guy, that guy, and that guy. Whoa. Yeah, that's a lot of streams. Looks like that's going to be the only 3 elite path here. I guess it's one of these 2 for the starting one, and then the other 2. I guess this one also gets an early shot, but you have to go through 4 fights to get it. And then 2 fights after the elite 2 with no fires. So that seems pretty scary. I think we'll go on this left path. A little bit more chill. The 3rd elite is optional, but the 2nd elite isn't. As soon as we commit to this elite, we're committed to 2. But I think that's okay. Alright, let's take the gold and go to the early shop. Really awkward pathing, unfortunately. We're going to break both. They're going to weaken us, so we can set him to 9, and then he dies to... Well, we do 6 damage per strike. Kind of awkward. We could set him to 4 and then try and kill him after the vulnerable wears off. Sure. Yeah, it looks like we block for more if we kill him now. Okay, it's fine. Let's try and exit this fight at 74, which is our max. Yeah, you know, I had relic stats enabled. There was a couple problems I had with it. Number 1 problem was my OBS setup does not recognize when I use modded Slay the Spire, which is just something I know how to fix. But the number 2 problem was like, oh, you mean, sorry, you're talking about relic stats. I was thinking you were talking about the one where people can mouse over while they're watching the stream. Man, 150 healing. That's a ton. Yeah, it's like way better than any boss relic, right? It's like there's no way, even like an energy relic like Curse Key or something is like gonna be better than saving you 150 hit points. Okay, Act 1 rewards. I can't imagine, right? I can't imagine that there are. Act 1 rewards, we got a Havoc, a True Grit, and a Thunderclap. I guess we can take the Thunderclap. I'm not like super excited about it, but we do need some AoE stuff. Hey Sardimal, how's it going? I guess I'll take a Thunderclap. I wish it was like a headbutt, but I'll take it just because it's an attack. Chemical X. Chemical X is quite good in Ironclad. Get that whirlwind going. Dark Embrace is a good card. Helps a lot in sentries. Flame Barrier, similar, very helpful. Let's see, who's our boss here? Hexaghost, pretty good against Hexaghost, gets lots of damage return. Feed, obviously, is here too. Feed on floor 2 is pretty good. So I think it's kind of, for me, it's between Feed and Chemical X. Chemical X is very speculative, but it's just so strong to get Whirlwind Plus and Chemical X. But I think it's got to be Feed, right? Feed's crazy good on floor 2. Okay. It sounds like new numbers going from 12 to 40 would be a good thing. So we're upgrading a card, I think. Probably Feed? I wish Feed got more damage when you upgraded it. I mean, Feed is good enough. Doesn't need the buff, but... it just doesn't feel great. Sure, let's get a lot of max HP. Why not? Alright, so we can feed on this acid slime. It's true, yeah. Well, congratulations on getting your numbers up so high. That must feel really good. Redby, what's your like streaming end game? Are you like you're trying to be like a content creator, do this as your day job kind of person? Is that what's your dream? I think we bash the spike slime and strike the acid slime. Acid slime's the easiest target for feed to hit. But we're going to be weak next turn. We get into frail, I suppose. If we bash strike spike slime, do we ever feed on him next turn? So we do 9 plus 8, 17 damage, so he's down to 17. And then we're weak. Feed's going to do what? 9? No, 8. Feed would do... oh, wait. No, it'll do 12 again. Right? Yeah, I think it ends up doing 12 again. On a vulnerable target while we're weakened. So yes, we could feed on Slexel next turn, so let's go for that. Seems like a pretty good outcome. Okay, well, in order for that plan to work, we have to actually draw feed. We can't kill him. Double strike blocks for 4, defend blocks for 3. So I guess we'll double strike. Get that feed. Okay. Ended up losing 0 current HP. Sword Boom, a very good early pick. Most Ironclad decks end up wanting to do some type of strength scaling, and doing 3 times strength for 1 energy is great. This is going to be a challenging fight to set up feed in, but I think I'll give it another shot and try and set it up. We could get it next turn, right? Would be ideal. If we double block Sword Boomerang, do we ever miss lethal next turn? Lowest damage is triple strike, which is 18. So we're doing 9 now, so we don't miss. Okay, so I'll take 1 damage to look for feed next turn. Drat. Well, I don't think I'll take 11. Is it ever right to take 11? So we end up taking 11 for 4 HP, so we lose a net 7, because we do heal when we gain max HP. Net 7 health for 4 max. We're pretty close to max currently. I don't think we're resting here, we're probably upgrading there. Health is pretty important though, because we have to do this hard pool fight, then an elite, and then another elite. Ideally, but then we get 2 fires to rest. I think we're probably okay taking net 7 in this fight. I guess it's net 8 because we took 1 last turn too. Wait. Oh right, because Burning Blood. So we took net 2 if we sum up the whole fight. Shrug It Off is excellent. I talked about wanting a Headbutt earlier. None of these cards really say Headbutt synergy. Heavy Blade kind of goes along with the Sword Boomerang in the strength scaling department. Seems like we're mostly meat scaling here. Yeah, let's take a Shrug It Off. I have a lot of Ironclad runs where I like don't I don't take the first Stroganoff I see, and then I never get offered another one, and I'm like, man, this deck could really use a Stroganoff. So I'm kind of scarred from that experience. Get an extra proc on Sword Boomerang for whenever we end up getting strength. Get a little bit extra block from Stroganoff. Stroganoff has a huge drawn played rate. You play Stroganoff almost every time you see it. So getting that extra 3 block is really relevant. Get an extra vulnerable. It's a little bit less relevant because we have the Thunderclap, so we've got 3 vulnerable per shuffle. We don't really need to go up to 4. I think we'll go with the Sword Boomerang though. Get that damage. Can we ever feed on the Lows here? So if we like Thunderclap, Strike, Feed, does that get him? So he's at 28 essentially. He goes to 24. This does 9. So he goes to 15, and then Feed kills him. Does 18. We could theoretically do it with Sword Boomerang as well, but that's a little bit more random. So I think we'll avoid that. Why is Sword Boom bad in a Logga fight? I was surprised for about the fight didn't end. I was like, I got my feed. I thought that was the whole point of this stuff. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. How likely are we to hit 28 damage next turn? If we hit Thunderclap, Sword Boom, Strike, that's 4, so he's down to 24. Sword Boomerangs are going to do 20, so that hits it. Pretty much any Thunderclap Sword Boomerang is going to hit it. Does Bash Sword Boomerang hit it? It gets down to 20. Yes, it does. Okay, I think we're pretty likely to hit it next turn, so we'll just take 1, try and heal. Hey, I'm Busby. My 4th of July was good. I didn't really do any like fireworks or anything. When I was a kid, I was always really excited about like playing with fire. Much to my mother's stress. But you know, it was mainly just like I heard sounds outside. I didn't want to like go to a place and get coronavirus so that I could watch some stupid fireworks. So power through is great, right? Always a big fan of power through. It would be nice to pick a damage card. Cleave is good against sentries. Are we worried against sentries? Actually, yes. Sentries is a little scary because Thunderclap's not good against sentries. Feed is only available once per fight, so a lot of our damage just goes away. Sword Boomerang is untargeted. But Cleave is just not a good card, especially not compared to Power Through. Power Through is really excellent. It does seem a little early to take my second defensive card. I think I will do it. This puts us a little bit behind the 8 ball against Gremlin Mob too. But I don't think so far behind that we're going to actually lose. Okay, so here's Lagavulin. Redbeard, he tried to warn us. We could wake him up right now with Thunderclap Double Strike. I think I would like to wake him up with Bash Sword Boomerang, if we could. We did get all of our attacks right now, so next turn we will be likely to get some block. I think we're going to wait until either turn 2 or turn 3, just so that we are drawing our strikes again sooner. Yeah, this is a kind of a wasted turn. We could Shrug and then look for Bash. Try to set up Bash for next turn. Yeah, Feed Bless is crazy. I'm used to getting it from Meow. It's kind of weird to get it from a shop. But hey, I'll take it. I think I'm not going to shrug it off because I don't want to draw a Sword Boomerang. I have a really good chance of setting up Bash Super Sword Boomerang next turn. And there it is. I think we're going to do Strike, Strike, Defend. The feed is both more useful just like as an attack later in the fight when we get our strength down, and we could actually eat them. So we'll leave that in the deck. Increase our attack density. Sword Boomerang and 1 defend is happening. We could double defend. Seems like we're setting a pretty okay pace. I don't feel like we're too behind. I think these cards next turn, it's pretty useless. I guess we can Thunderclap Bash to set up some vulnerable for the following turn, but not a ton of damage. So I think we will go for the damage here. Thunderclap Bash is better than Bash Thunderclap because Bash gets more benefit from hitting a vulnerable target. Here's the 1 damage Sword Boomerang that Redbeardy warned us about. I think we're just going to power through Defend Strike. Let's keep that vulnerable going for the hopefully feed next turn. So we're getting exactly these cards. So can we set up lethal? Max damage next turn is going to be Strike, Strike, Feed. These are doing 4 naturally, but he's vulnerable, so it's going to be 6. So 12 plus 15. So 27 damage. He's at 30 right now, so we need to strike him to get him there. Okay, we're feeding on Longbow one. Great. I like it. Tasty, tasty arthropod. Delicious. It's like a hermit crab, right? So we can take Headbutt again. We did definitely feel like our damage was too slow there. We took a lot of damage from Laga. And we gotta go fight another elite after this. Probably fine, especially with the italicized pot. That's really helpful against sentries in particular. And pretty good against Gremlin Knob. It's gonna heal it for at least 12. So we get Headbutt for just like another damage card. Could help us set up feed, I guess. If we like pass feed, and then we're like, well, I'll go ahead and Headbutt the feed now. Do it next turn. Headbutt's also, like, Headbutt's main, like, point of interest is Limit Break. I don't know, I guess I'll take a Headbutt. Probably should have taken the previous one that I was offered. Or Calcum. Or Calcum plus Heart of Iron is gonna block out 1 sentry. Nice, okay. So we don't really... Let's see what Sword Boomerang says about who we should hit, because it could be either of these outside too, if one of them gets hit twice. They both get hit twice. Okay, well, that's weird. I guess bash this one and drink the potion. Your damage is no concern of mine, Sentry. Thunderclap actually hits here because we bashed him last turn. So we can Thunderclap Strike Feed. Is that lethal? So he goes down to 21. Yep, it sure is. Alright, so we have a guaranteed 0 damage sentry fight here. Just play the damage cards. Sure. Don't care about your dazes. I will draw my strikes eventually. I guess I should leave him at 3 so that Thunderclap kills him. Didn't have to wait very long for that. That's fun. Thanks, Metallicized Potion. Second armaments offered in a row. Pommel Strike. Pommel Strike's kind of fun with Headbutt. Brutality. We are going to have a lot of max HP, so the Brutality hurts us for a smaller chunk of our max HP than normal. I think the main problem with Brutality is not that it hurts you, but just that it's slow. And having a lot of max HP doesn't make it any less slow. But maybe we are just a slow deck. We're trying to set up a feed. We've got a couple of defensive cards already. Brutality sets us up for some weird little synergies. Armaments is okay. I'm not against armaments. I think the primary argument against armaments right now is A, we don't have Searing Blow. Searing Blow is like makes armaments a snap pick, and B, we already have a Shrug It Off and a Power Through, which is quite a bit of defense for this early, especially if we're not fighting Automaton. We're fighting Hexaghost, so we like need to get damage. Brutality does open up a lot of synergy things, but generally those things are not very good, like Rupture, and we don't have any relics that respect playing powers. If you get like a Mummified Hand, Brutality is really good, suddenly. Brutality also makes Snecko Eye worse. So I think Brutality is probably worse than Skip. I think Armaments probably is 2. And I think probably the same for Pommel Strike. Yeah, that's true. Tungsten Rod Brutality is really good, but Tungsten is a rare relic, and we don't have it currently, so building around it is difficult. Also, if you have Tungsten Rod, it breaks your Rupture interaction. So I think we're just going to skip here. Okay. When I was looking at this pathing, I was assuming I would rest at one of these two. I guess I'll rest at the other one. This gives me a chance to get a card that I want to upgrade and changes my mind, or get more max HP so that the rest does more. I don't know if we actually pass a breakpoint. Actually, we're guaranteed to pass a breakpoint, huh? Because it's upgraded. No, wait, it's 30%, right? So we are guaranteed to pass a breakpoint. So, do we smith? What do we smith? Maybe we rest here and then try and get a card and then upgrade that card, because there's just nothing really impressive to smith here. Yeah. Thanks for using the emote. Glad you're getting some use out of them. I think you're the first person to use an emote other than me. I used my raid emote when I raided somebody the other day. I don't think anybody saw it though. Yeah, Shrug up. I think Shrug is probably the best upgrade. I think it's just between Shrug upgrade and Rest. Hey Mephatha, how's it going? 28 healing puts us up to 75. 20 off of our max. But then we're fighting Hexaghost, so we maybe we just shouldn't rest at either of these. Maybe we just take an upgrade here and there. Yeah. Okay, that's way better. Okay, so let's take the Shrug It Off upgrade. Yeah, Redbeard, you're a step ahead of me. So the reason not to upgrade Bash is Thunderclap. We have 3 vulnerable per shuffle. Yeah. We're only taking 1 damage here, so we could just go for it. We can't get a feed lethal, I assume. Max damage is Thunderclap, Headbutt, Feed. So 4 plus, what is it, 13? 4 plus 13 is 17, plus 18 is 35, so yeah, not close. So let's just Bash Headbutt. Probably Bash Headbutt as I draw Bash again next turn. But I don't want to play Headbutt Bash. And I don't want to give up on the feed. Yeah, but then we're giving up 4 damage. I guess 4 damage is not a ton. It's pretty unlikely that 4 damage is the difference between killing him before he escapes and not. Stacking Vuln, that's an option too. Let's shrug. Ooh, that upgrade feels so good. Alright, we can't Sword Boomerang without killing him. Oh wait, yeah we can. Only those 12. I guess we're committed to that now, because I played 2 defense. Do we ever miss lethal next turn? I don't think so. We could get defend, shrug it off, power through, but like shrug it off draws a card, and like all the other cards do damage, so I think we're getting. Drat. Wild Strike. If we get Wild Strike, then we are suddenly 2 cards into the status effect synergy package, and we need to find like a medical kit, feel no pain, that kind of stuff. Evolve, flame breathe, fire breathing. If you're going to go into the self status synergy set, then like Wild Strike and Power Through are 2 of the best cards to start with, because they're just huge cards by themselves. Hey, Princey DV. Thanks for coming. Do we want a Wild Strike? I think is the real question. What are our challenges coming up? We got a Hexaghost and an Elite. This Elite can't be Sentries. Sentries is our last one. We've got plenty of damage for Lagavulin or Gremlin Knob. I'm not too worried about that. I am a little bit worried about Hexaghost damage, though. Just because the feed exhausts, and then, like, what are we left with? Sword Boomerang plus Headbutt. So yeah, let's take the Wild Strike and upgrade it. Wild Strike hits really hard after upgrading. Gets a 5 damage upgrade, as though it were some kind of Watcher card. Alright, we get to start with Wild Strike, Strike if we like. Strike, like. We could just not do that. It's not really clear to me what we would be waiting for exactly. I probably want to wake him up before we hit Power Through, so let's just wake him up now. I guess we could be waiting for Bash. Bash is a good thing to wait for. But whatever. We don't have Lethal because he is at 91. That's just too much. We can Thunderclap, Sword Boom, Headbutt. Probably Headbutting, like, Shrug It Off. Yeah, I don't see any reason to use the feed right now. Is it the Shrug It Off or is it the Wild Strike? We have like a 50-50 shot of hitting Power Through next turn. If we hit Power Through and Shrug It Off at the same time, it feels a little bit silly. I would really like to have next turn be like Power Through, Wild Strike, Defend. I think it's gonna be Shrug It Off just so that we guarantee we have a good turn next turn. Yeah, we didn't get it. Alright. Let's just bash him. If we bash, we set up for feed turns. I guess next turn is just real garbage, though. there's no point in setting up a vulnerable for a single strike. Especially because it costs me 5 health. Would have been 2 strikes. Okay, we want to be setting up for feed if we can. We could just bash Thunderclap. These defense don't do very much, especially in the presence of Orichalcum. Shruganoff blocks for 3 relative to Orichalcum. If we take 14 here, we go to 16. 16 is above the 12 breakpoint for Hexaghost, so we end up taking 12 on turn 2. I believe. It seems like a pretty comfortable place to be. Although, I guess feed messes with that math, and so does Burning Blood. So that's just not right at all. We heal for 10 more than what I said, so we end up at 22, which is right below the 24 breakpoint. So I think that puts us at a decent spot. Oh, I was kind of counting on drawing feed this turn. I guess we can still set it up for next turn. Next turn is going to be like strike, feed. So these are doing 6, this is doing 15. So 12 plus 15 is 27. We just need to do 1 strike here. So that is what we will do. Oh my god. Looks like poured tea on my neck. Not even sure how I messed that up. Alright, we ate Lagavulin twice in Act 1. Hey, First Dane! You've highlighted the new emote. Excellent. Metallicize is a card. We have Orichalcum, so Orichalcum Metallicize is kind of fun. Block for 10 without doing anything. Let's see, how do we... Okay, hold on a second. I'm doing something. Sorry, holding music. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, alright, there we go. Now Redbeard is part of the emote gang. We fixed it. Okay. Alright, do we pick Metallicize? I do like having 10 passive block, but we have to like shrug it off and power through, so we're going to interrupt Orichalcum a decent amount. Thanks for the following, Dancing Bun Bun. It's fun. Is it like a hot grass bun? Clothesline is pretty effective against Hexaghost as well, if we need damage. I think with the Wild Strike, we're feeling pretty good on damage. Wild Strike Headbutt, yeah. We're on a pretty good pace. I'll take a Metallicize. I don't know. I don't know if I'm... Do I recommend Slay the Spire or Monster Train for newbies? I recommend Slay the Spire. I think the problem with Monster Train is Monster Train like leans really hard on you knowing how to play deck building games a little bit. There's some really powerful effects that are really consistently available in Monster Train, namely removing cards from your deck and duplicating cards that you already have. I find that people who are new to deck building games often undervalue card removal. I think those resources. I don't know. Maybe that's an argument for Monster Train. Maybe that means that Monster Train is better at teaching that kind of evaluation. I don't know. I find that Slay the Spire has a really excellent on ramp. It does a really good job of onboarding new players. So I think that's still my recommendation. Although the words that I said ended up supporting Monster Train. I think Great Mentalis doesn't upgrade it. And then hope that we find like Mummified Hand or something. Yeah, Monster Train definitely feels like you have to break the game. Alright, he is hitting us for 12. Well, that's not very much. Just block a little bit of it. Oh crap, I'm gonna restart the fight. That was negative block before I got him. Whoops. Okay. And I'm not gonna play defend because we have Ironclad, so that hurts me. So it's gonna be headbutt, thunderclap, strike. Do it in the order that allows us to maximize our headbutt options. Part of me wants to do Wild Strike because it does the most damage, so if I play it a lot, then I kill him faster. Part of me says Sword Boomerang because if you play Wild Strike a lot, eventually you'll have a lot of wounds in your deck. Also, we have a Vajra now, so that changes our calculus a little bit. Strength scaling things are a little better. You don't think we want to headbutt anything? Well, that's not really how headbutt works. You have to headbutt something. I guess you could have double striked. There's that Metalicized. And Sword Boomerang. These don't do anything useful, so we'll skip them. Alright, currently blocking for 10. If we shrug it off, we block out. Shrug it off draws this strike. So we got like Shrug Double Strike or Shrug Bash seem to be the main plays here. I'm feeling like we're, let's see. So we've done like 100 damage. He's got 1 light up. I guess we're on a pretty good path. I don't think I need to emergency power pot. I guess we're planning on saving both of these potions for Act 2 if we're not power potting here. Which is a little bit weird. I think Shrug Bash and then try and find Sword Boomerang or something next turn. Use the line. Hey, there it is. Thunderclap, Sword Boomerang is happening. These don't do anything because we already block out. Alright. It's probably Shrug, Wild Strike, Strike, but I guess let's see what the card on top is. We don't really need to Shrug, but there's nothing we're afraid of drawing, and we draw passive wounds faster the more we draw, so... Actually, I guess we'll Wild Strike and then Shrug to maximize our chance of drawing a wound. Okay, that's the wound. Probably the worst case scenario. Maybe we are behind. Should drink that power pot. I guess I can do it now. This is always the turn where he catches me, because like on his 3 fire thing, he gets this block, and then on the 4 fire one, he has the big attack. He gets the block and the strength on the third fire, and so now all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I've only done, you know, a little bit over half of his health bar, and in two attacks he's going to be hitting me for a ton. I probably don't survive that attack. So let's see if we can catch up a little bit. Inflame's probably what we were looking for. Juggernaut's not bad either. Juggernaut does 10 damage per turn. Minimum. I guess I would expect Juggernaut to do more than Inflame. On the best possible turn, Inflame does 15 damage, because we have a Sword Boomerang and 2 other attacks, and he's vulnerable. So Inflame ends up adding 2 strength 5 times, but then each 2 strength does 3 damage. So I think it's Juggernaut here. But that's like the best case scenario, and that'll only happen like once a fight or something. Okay, so now that we know that we have Juggernaut, do we take like Shrug It Off back or something? We probably don't need to block next turn, because he only attacks for, I believe, 9 next turn. And we're already going to be blocking that out with Orichalcum Metallicized, so I'll just take a Wild Strike back. Yeah. Okay. Wild Strike is happening, I guess, feed now? So if we feed now, he takes 13, goes to 40, takes 10 damage to the Juggernaut, goes to 30. Do we ever do 30 damage next turn? Not likely. Explosive Pot takes him down to 20. We could probably do 20. If we strike and then redraw feed, we could feed on him next turn. It's not super likely that we redraw strike, though. We're drawing 3 cards out of 22. I think we just need to go for max damage here, make sure we can actually get there. As likely as we can. We missed it. And we're dying. We're only 5 damage off, we almost got him. We should have taken the Juggernaut earlier. Yeah, this fight always sneaks up on me, because I just didn't realize I was behind until I was dead. Drat. Maybe we should have upgraded, like, Bash instead of Metallicize at the last campsite. The marginal block from Metallicize, I don't think ever saved us any health. Because Hexaghost hits for 9 a lot, and by upgrading Metallicize, we changed from blocking for 9 per turn to blocking for 10 per turn, which was not useful. And Bash would have gotten us a fairly significant amount of extra damage. But honestly, just drinking the Power Pot on turn 1 would have won us the fight. It just went too slow.